Jim, a dramatic 97 minutes or so of football here in the capital. How do you reflect on it?
Well, look, I mean, obviously, I'd love to be coming on here talking about a brilliant team performance. I actually thought it was a really entertaining game of football. It must have been for both sets of supporters that were here. I thought there was plenty of goalmouth action from both teams. Both goalkeepers making good saves when called upon. But I feel at this moment in time that it was 2 points dropped from ourselves. When you consider the position that we put ourselves in, winning the game 3-1, the manner and the goals that we score, really good team goals, I think, in my opinion, well worked goals. When you look at the goals that we conceded, then on the flip side of that, really poor goals from our perspective. Unfortunately, the first one as a goalkeeper, Kucherenko has been outstanding since he's came to the club. In the position that he plays, unfortunately, when you make a mistake, it tends to be punished, and that was the case with the first goal. The second goal, I don't point any finger of blame at Kuch on that occasion. In fact, if anybody's to blame for it, I am, because it's something that we talk about in terms of trying to play out from the back. Unfortunately, Vichko's just not had the awareness of what's around him. Didn't see the Hibs midfielder coming and putting on the press, and he's took too many touches and the ball's been nicked off him. Now, I know in hindsight, we're all watching that and we're thinking, well, if we just kicked the ball long up onto the halfway line, that wouldn't happen. But we've played our way out of trouble so many times this season and had good success with it. Unfortunately, today we find ourselves getting punished. And then obviously the main talking point will be the equaliser for Hibs. I would hate to be a defender in the modern day game, and I would certainly not enjoy being a referee either, having to come to those decisions on things that are so subjective. It's Fichko Sevelj is trying to hold off the Hibs player to his left. He puts his arm out to block the Hibs player, and yes, okay, the ball hits him around about the upper arm, the sleeve line possibly. There's absolutely no intent, and then to get the red card after that was just quite incredible, really. That the fact that we're going to have to go without Vichko, such an influential player in the next game, is remarkable. So, as I said at the beginning, it's not very often I come away from Easter Road, feeling that we dropped 2 points here, and I think that's great credit to the group, because I think we've made unbelievable progress in the space of 3 months. I see the team getting better week after week after week. There's a clear understanding now within the group of what's being asked of them. And I thought the overall performance was terrific, but of course the goals are extremely disappointing. Lucas
Stevenson obviously got all the plaudits for that incredible brace, but I know the team worked quite hard on the opposite wing back, getting across the back post through the week. So how satisfying is it when something that you've worked on through the week comes to fruition in a game like this? Yeah, I mean, of course, I thought there's so many good individual performances, and of course Luca deserves a huge amount of credit for the couple of goals that he had, and he was really unlucky at the end of the game there. At 3-3, he breaks his way into the box. Where he finds the energy from, I don't know. And Smith makes a decent save with his foot at the near post. But we encourage the wing backs to get forward and to be adventurous. And when one wing back is crossing the ball into the box, we want the other one coming in and arriving in the back post. And we need to try and get as many bodies in there as possible. And pleased for Luca that he managed to get the couple of goals. You mentioned the red card just a wee bit earlier. Is there grounds to appeal that for what seems like a really harsh decision? Yeah, well, look, we'll look at every option that's available to us as a club, and if we feel that there is an opportunity there to go and appeal it, then of course we'll do that, because Vichko is such an important player. But I think the referee spoke about it being a clear and obvious goal-scoring opportunity that Vichko has denied, and I think by the letter of the law, then he needs to come to that outcome. But I did have a real concern coming into the game. I actually spoke to the staff about it while we were having our pre-match meal in the hotel. I was watching the VAR review last night, and the head of referees is on discussing the Hibs St Mirren game a couple of weeks ago, where Hibs should have had a penalty later on in the game, where the Hibs defender nearly catches the ball in the back post area. And I had a slight concern coming into it that subconsciously as a referee, that must be playing in the back of your mind. And when there's that 50-50 decision to be made, I always felt it was going to go in Hibs' favour. given the investment here in the summer, do you feel today is a good temperature check of where the group are against one of their main rivals for the top 6?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, look, I thought we were the better team on the day. I really did, and a number of the Hibs staff have said the same, and I think they probably feel that they've got out of jail a little bit today. Given the goals that we've conceded, they've not had to work, incredibly hard for the goals. It was, a couple of mistakes and a penalty kick. It actually reminds me a little bit of the Hearts game at Tannadice a few weeks back, where we concede 2 corners and the penalty kick. So if you look at the performances that we've put in against the likes of Hearts and Hibs, it has to give us a huge amount of hope and a huge amount of optimism for what the season could hold for us. And I said that to the players. As much as we're all disappointed, because we've not won the game, we can be very proud of the overall performance as a collective. Not just certain individuals. As a group, I thought the players have been fantastic, and I think we can see gradual signs of progress. Game after game.
It feels like we're just a couple of clean sheets away from a really good run of results.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is disappointing, obviously, off the back of the Dundee derby where we defended so well and kept a clean sheet. We knew today would be different against a different level of opposition, with the greatest of respect to Dundee. But I thought from open play defensively we were very good. I think Kutch has had to make a couple of decent saves, which you would expect when you're playing against such quality opposition in the forward areas. But overall, I thought the shape of the team was terrific. And like you touched on there, the recruitment that we've done in the summer, there's not many teams that have signed as many players as we have. 14 new faces coming in. The fact that they've been able to adjust to the different culture and the different style of football, and the fact that they've been able to take on board what I've been asking them to do, I think it's, you can see it now. It's quite evident. We've got an identity and we've got a style of play which is brilliant. And we've came to a team that have spent vast amounts of money. They're bringing on a striker there for the last half an hour that they've spent 7 figures on in the summer. So I think as much as we can be disappointed, I think we can be proud with the overall performance.
Just the final word for that absolutely massive travelling support that came through here from Dundee today. Yeah, again, look, they know my feelings toward them. I was delighted to extend my contract during the week, and I've loved the last couple of years here, and they've played a huge part within my decision to stay. And I think I'm growing on a few of them, which is good. But we can appreciate what they gave today to the team. Their backing since I've been here has been outstanding, and the reaction that they gave to the players after the game, they certainly appreciated the performance. So, as always, very thankful to them.